So I'm out here doing some work, listening to a video by Diary of a CEO. He's got two people on that are debating the origins of wealth inequality. And I just had to stop and make a comment here. As individuals or as human beings, we only have one thing that we can actually trade, and that is our work. And work is energy expenditure over time. And when you think about this, everything starts to be put into perspective, and you start to understand how markets are manipulated, how currencies are manipulated, how people manipulate one another, all in the name of profits. And essentially, you can boil this down to more or less a first principles basis. If you look at work, and knowing it's the only thing that we can actually transact, the work that we've done in the past, we can either transform into assets which are durable, or we can consume it. We can make purchases of food or water, whatever it is that we might consume in order to live, clothing and whatnot. As a younger person, you have the ability to promise away your future work. We do that in the form of taking on debts. And so what you end up with is a system where older people have their wealth stored in the assets they've been able to retain over their working lifetime. People who are younger have their wealth stored in the ability for them to promise their future work away. And so all that we're ever doing is that we're always just transforming our work into one of those types of assets, right? We're either transforming our future time into current time and consumption, or current assets and consumption, or we're just converting the work that we have done, we're converting to assets if we haven't consumed them. Profits in general, they can be derived in a few different ways. If you look at just a simple trade, say a blanket for a coat, if they both take the same amount of time, energy, and relatively same materials to produce, a fair trade would be one coat for one blanket. If a person were to trade two coats for one blanket, the person making that trade with two coats, all things being equal, still would have lost in the trade. Now, maybe the blanket was more valuable to them, so they were more willing to give up a second coat. But now the person that has two coats may only need one, and they can go and trade that other coat for something else, and so that has made them richer. So that profit there was derived at the expense of someone else. Likewise, you can manipulate the currency. If you are a third party, like a government or a central bank, and you have the ability to create new currencies, you have the ability to dilute, or if you're actually restricting currency, increase the value of those denominations. Inflation can be a source of profit. The first person that receives currency and is able to spend it into the economy hasn't yet had the ability to really affect the pricing. The currency that they are gifted more or less increases their purchasing power, which increases their demand, which will ultimately increase the price. And finally, the other third way of profits is actually increased efficiency. And so this is where you see things like fuels, right, come into play. You have a giant farm, for example, right? Go till that by hand. Take you a lifetime. Do it with a tractor in no time. Now, that energy is that fuel is so energy dense that we can even spend it inefficiently and still make a profit. We don't need to burn the calories that we have. We can burn the calories that are in the oil or in the gasolines. And we do this, and we're always going to do it because we'll always opt to burn some other form of energy other than our own. I'm going to leave it with just that. I'll have some more videos later, but yeah, think about that stuff when you're watching these types of videos, and try to challenge it. I welcome you to to try to challenge my concepts on this as well. I've been studying this for over a decade, and my background's in engineering, and I have a master's in finance. I have yet to be able to persuade myself that this is not a discovery that um, is. I haven't been able to mess it up. I haven't been able to refute it in any way or analysis that I've taken on so far. So if you guys have that opportunity, please challenge it. I'd like to explore that. All right, till next time.